We'll go ahead and get started today in child's pose. So go ahead and extend your arms out long in front of you. Send your hips back to your heels. And just focus on taking some really nice, full, deep breaths here. Breathing all the way down into that area just below the belly button. And then every exhale, just relaxing a little bit more. Allowing your hips to melt towards your heels a little bit more. And then on your next inhale, we'll come out of it just a little bit. And we're going to take our right arm and slide it under the left arm for a little twist. Just coming on to our right temple, relaxing the head into the mat or the ground, wherever you're practicing. Every inhale getting a little bit longer. And every exhale maybe twisting a little bit deeper, or just settling in wherever you're at. Next inhale, we'll go ahead, come back to child's pose, just in the center, kind of realigning. And then next inhale again, we'll come out of it just a little bit. And on an exhale, we'll bring our left arm under our right. Every inhale getting a little bit longer in the spine. Every exhale, just relaxing into it a little bit more. And we'll go ahead, next inhale again, come back to child's pose. And you have the option here to interlace your hands behind your head, maybe giving yourself a little neck massage with your thumbs, kind of opening up the shoulders a little bit more. And then we can go ahead, release the hands, and just come onto our hands and knees here. So we're going to take a couple rounds of cat-cow. So every inhale, think about sending the belly button towards the floor. Every exhale, pulling the belly button up. Think about leading the movement with your tailbone and just letting everything else follow. And then next inhale, we'll go ahead, just come to a flat back and keep your hips where they are and just send your arms out long, coming into puppy pose. And then we'll go ahead on an inhale, keep everything where it's at, and then we're just going to send our chest forward. Bringing our belly, our hips, our thighs onto the mat, keeping our elbows under our shoulders, and sending the chest forward, spreading the fingers wide, feeling nice and stable. And you have the option here, if you want to get into your neck a little bit, you can start to just slowly turn your chin towards the left, and then towards the right a couple times each side, maybe taking the gaze up and down. Just doing some small movements with the neck here, kind of loosening it up. And getting into any areas of tension, just breathing into those. Then we'll go ahead, come back into that puppy pose. This time it's going to be a little bit more passive, so a little bit more of a stretch. So think about sending your chest towards the mat, towards the ground. And really focusing on opening through the chest, through the shoulders. And then next inhale, we'll go ahead, come up to hands and knees again. And this time we're going to do a little bit of wrist stretching. So you can go ahead and turn your right fingers clockwise. And then if you want to get a little bit more of a stretch in that right forearm, you can start to lean your hips back just a little bit. Sometimes all it takes is just a little tiny movement. And we'll go ahead, slowly turn those fingers back towards the front. And then we'll go ahead and move into our left hand. So turning the left fingers counterclockwise. Again, leaning your hips back just a little bit for more of an intense stretch. Breathing into any sensation that you might have. And we'll go ahead, bring those fingers forward, and we'll come back to sit on our heels. So if you want more of an intense stretch for your feet, you can keep your toes tucked, or you can untuck them for a little bit more of a gentle stretch through the fronts of the legs. We'll go ahead, inhale, bring our hands straight out from our shoulders. We're going to alternate turning our fingers up to the ceiling or sky and down to the ground. You have the option to start kind of curling your fingers in or out, just kind of following the movement of your wrists. Just kind of seeing what feels good for you right now. You can go ahead, take some wrist circles, one direction and then the other. Maybe shaking them out a little bit. And we'll go ahead, interlace our fingers. And as you breathe in, you're going to sweep your hands out and up. And then as you breathe out, you're sending your hands out and back in towards your chest. So kind of like that cat-cow motion. And just following your hands with your gaze. We'll go ahead, next time you exhale, we'll start to press the palms together, maybe alternate, kind of angling the fingers towards the left, towards the right. You have an option for a couple more wrist circles here, one direction and then the other, just making sure to go both ways. And then we can go ahead and interlace our fingers, our hands behind our head. And on the inhale, we'll send our elbows wide. And then on the exhale, think about bringing your chin towards your chest, bringing the elbows in. Just moving on your own breath here. Focusing on that opening of the front body on the inhales. Maybe a little stretch of the back of the neck on the exhales. And then go ahead and just move into child's pose here. You can take your knees a little bit wider this time. Maybe trying a different variation. If you want something a little bit more passive to kind of get into kind of opening up, relaxing that area between the shoulder blades, you can bring your knees closer together and then just go ahead and bring your hands out to the sides of your hips, palms face up. And just breathe into that area. In the upper back, every exhale, just relaxing a little bit more. You can stay here or come into Shavasana, your choice. Thank you so much for practicing with me today. Namaste.